Good evening, friends. Many of you have heard me talk about the topic of creativity. And tonight I'm going to talk about another form of this same energy, which is sexuality. I am committed in my lifetime to liberate sexuality from being repressed to being revered. You may ask me, but Adriana, sexuality is not repressed. It's everywhere. It's in the media. It's in the movies. It's used in all the commercials to sell just about everything, from cars to deodorant to a pack of gum. And we are not an Arab country, for example, where women need to hide their bodies, hide their sexuality. So what do you mean when you say that sexuality is repressed? Well, before I answer that question, I'd like to pose a question to all of you. How many of you believe that the inner world creates the outer world, that the outer world is a reflection of the inner world? How many of you believe that? Yes. Wonderful. So let us together take a few moments and go within. If you would, please close your eyes. Shift your attention inward and notice what is there for you. You may notice thoughts appearing and disappearing. Perhaps you have an emotional experience to what I am sharing. Perhaps you're recognizing some bodily sensations entering your physical experience. Take another moment and be with your inner world. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. If you were to spend some time in the inner world, you would recognize that there is in fact a lot of activity going on inside. That thoughts are forever arising and falling away. That emotions are always coming into our experience and then fading. That bodily sensations are appearing and disappearing. In fact, there is a fountain, there is a spring of energy, a stream of inner experiences that happen ceaselessly, that happen continuously, that is forever showing up in our inner world. That energy, that fountain, that stream shows up in the form of thoughts, emotions, images, ideas, feelings. That fountain, that river, that spring is forever created in you. It is ceaselessly going on inside of you. This is the creative energy of the psyche. It is the generative energy of the inner world, and it is the sexual energy of the inner world. Now, perhaps you can agree with me when I call it creative. And perhaps you can agree with me when I call it generative. But how can the appearing of thoughts, ideas, sensations, images be sexual? When you think of sex or sexuality, you likely think of union. A man and woman coming together as one, for example. When a thought, when a feeling, when a sensation emerges into your awareness, you unite what was previously unknown with what is known. You bring together what was once in the dark with what is now in the light of your awareness. You bring together as one known and unknown. When your awareness goes within and receives what is ceaselessly arising, you bring together inner and outer worlds. The spring of energy, the fountain of information, the flow of activity that is ceaselessly going on within you is none other than the creative life force. It is the generative, creative, sexual energy of the cosmos. And it is experienced in the psyche, in the inner world of the individual. How is sexuality repressed? Most of the human race, most of the general collective is not receptive to, is not accepting of, is not open to this inner flow, to this fountain of energy, to this fountain of energy that emerges from within us ceaselessly. Instead, most people are thinking, analyzing, planning, comparing, categorizing their external world. However, when attention shifts its bright light upon the world within, then it can receive, then it can accept, then it can be open to the creative, generative, sexual energy of the cosmos. By ignoring, by not being aware of, by not acknowledging, by pushing away this creative fountain inside, the generative, creative, sexual energy of the cosmos that flows through us every day, every moment, with every breath, remains repressed. We as a people, we as a collective, are disconnected from the most powerful energy there is. And we continuously dishonor the creative, sexual, generative energy. And that dysfunction, that dysfunctional relationship begins within. What does the inner repression of the generative, sexual, creative energy look like outwardly? Rape, molestation, sexual abuse, violence, strip clubs, pornography, images of women's bodies as sex objects and not sacred vessels, and that is just to name a few. In conclusion, I encourage you to take a few moments each day and become receptive to, open yourselves to the flow, the creative flow that is ceaselessly emerging within you. When you do that, when you begin to build a relationship with this energy, you will be honoring the sexual, creative, generative energy of the cosmos, and you will be shifting the consciousness of us all. Thank you.